Cosplay is dressing up to a specific character from anime, manga, movies, and video games. Cosplayers often interact to create a subculture, and this niche industry has been around for many years, but as you might know, they are usually prominent in conventions. Locally, cosplay has been around as early as 2006. Since then, the cosplay community in Singapore has grown significantly, and by 2012, they have their own event.
Hi everyone, I'm Desmond. Welcome to another episode of Unlock Project. So, have you ever thought of suiting up with your favorite Gundam suit? For me, definitely I have. Okay, so I would like to try out a Wing Gundam suit. Of course, without further ado, let's start with our special episode. So today we are with Shannon at EdenTech Singapore.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Shannon. I'm 32 years old this year. I run EdenTechSG, and we're a bunch of prop makers and costume builders.
First, on behalf of Unlock Project, we want to congratulate you on the 4th year mark.
Yay.
And hope that you guys will go be more awesome and hit more milestones.
Yeah,
That's going to come. So I will actually mention a few props and costumes that you have done before previously. It's like a War Machine, Azu's Lane, Goblin Slayer,
yeah.
Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters stand out to me a lot because we're from the same era.
Yeah, definitely.
But next thing which actually pops up to me is Secret Guardian, Singaporean, which is a local production because of the 40-year-old. So my first question to you, Ian, from our understanding, based on the functioning of commission-based work, how is it like to be from a company like EdenTech? Commission-based as a freelance and a firm, it totally function in a different way. How is it like starting this firm from scratch?
I have this idea of running a workshop since the very beginning, but obviously there's not enough knowledge. So working in the industry for quite a few years will allow me to gain enough knowledge and skill sets to try and do it. When the opportunity came, I had enough funding. I don't want to stay jobless, and freelance is really hard to make it in Singapore. The idea was to create a firm so that, number one, we can groom some new talents. Number two, we can have a steady workload in this industry. And number three, the most important one is that I am going back to doing what I really love to do, which is, making costumes and props.
So you to make the mask, because right now there are a lot of crazy collabs, especially for Gundam because it's their 40th year.
Well, we're all going through COVID-19, right? And it's a really strange, abnormal time. And I thought that if we can make something interesting, now this face mask is a new thing that everyone needs to get used to. What if we can make something different for people to wear and make things a little bit more interesting as on their daily commute?
If anyone comes to you asking you to modify their 3M mask?
Yes, we have one commission for that so we built one of those, but due to some budget constraint, we can't really do much to it. So we sent it over to him. He tore apart way more stuff and modified it. So it's actually for a conceptual photo shoot. Very cyberpunk, very futuristic type of photo shoot. So yes, there are people who come to us with this kind of request.
They tear apart a few things. Then from
there,
how do you feel when they tear it?
It's fine.
It's fine.
From somebody who produces costumes and props for many years, you kind of have less attachment to the things that you make. It's not like a baby project that you make yourself and then you want to keep. This is purely for business. So once the product leaves in somebody else's hands, it's theirs. So they can pretty much do whatever they want to it.
For our Gunpla viewers, if let's say they're going to pass it to their friend and their friend going to remove the parts, it'll be quite touchy.
I completely understand where this is coming from because it's essentially art, right? And obviously there's a sense of ownership or this is my work. As much as I like to put a signature to all these kind of things that we push out, the end product purely belongs to the client, and so they can pretty much do whatever they want with it. It's not as if I don't like what he does with the whatever modification that he did. It looks really good and it suits what he needs. So I'm glad to be a part of his journey to the end point.
Okay, the next question I'll be asking is, because right now it's very niche.
Yeah.
Do you see it growing into the mainstream like how Gundam is right now, due to all the crazy numbers of like own stay, Inisu and things?
Talk about cosplay community, because of the internet, social media, streamers, and cosplay is getting more and more popular, especially among younger crowds. And with that, the cosplay related jobs are starting to get more and more popular. There are more people who want to be artists also. We're a completely different generation from our parents, right? For them, work is bread and butter. For us, we're looking for something different. We're looking for about like, mental satisfaction. Do we like the work that we do? And so the next generation would have more of this craving. They want to do art, they want to do more art-based stuff, music, and all these industries in Singapore are basically opening up. It's a really good trend. And with regards to Gundam, right, and if it gets more and more popular with collabs, we see a lot of big companies like DBS do a lot of collabs with artists, and so that's a good trend.
Moving on forward to the next topic, what are the materials that normally you guys work with for costumes and including props?
The material range is actually pretty wide. We work with acrylic paint, EVA foam, all the way up to wood, some metal, carbon fiber if we have to, fiberglass. These are materials that are pretty widely available for like the local prop making industry, and it's easy to work with. It requires some skill set, so incorporate a lot of 3D modeling, paper cura, all this sort of skill sets.
So if let's say based on client, this is my budget. So what is the most basic and costumes?
I mean, as you can see, like I am not a tailor because I'm not that good in this field, and I don't want to go into competition with people. So for our costumes, we also use EVA foam. I used to do a lot of theme parks. This material allow the user to forget that they are wearing a costume. It's really, really hot because it's not permeable. Sweat doesn't evaporate well. But that's the the downside to it, But for us, the main concern really is weight reduction, comfort. How well do you move? Because we want to try and get these cosplayers and the performers to forget that they are wearing. But there are exceptions. Like for Singer, they ordered a full resin helmet. That's because for close-up shots, they really want to get something really nice, premium, and so we also produce those types.
You do not want him to dehydrate in a way.
Well, they will dehydrate, but it's always up to them to know that when they are not feeling well or when they are dehydrated, they have to start doing something about it. But for us, we can only educate them. That's the most important part. We have to educate them on what they will go through, how certain parts work, and how durable. Why do we do this? Use certain materials. So most costumes that we make for them, we encourage them to obviously fully maximize the use of it. You wear to convention, you do photo shoots, some people do video shoots. I do video shoots with mine. We encourage them to push the usage of these costumes to its full potential before they try and discard it. Usually people discard the costumes because one, they're out of hype already, and because every costume is tailor-made for them, right? And so they can't really sell it. It's very hard to get rid of it. So the only way is to toss it out.
Would it be like the fashion industry that suddenly someone brings something back to make it hype?
Well, our business really rides on this thing called hype, pop culture hype. Mandalorian is coming out. We do expect a few orders for those sort of things. The new Kamen Rider is coming up, and we do expect a few of those orders for that sort. Something like say Captain Sakura, a few years back had a new anime come back and stuff like that. So we do see a trend of these recurring stuff, but it really depends on what these other media is doing, and then what we can do is we can only hop on it.
Someone which I wish that you meet today. So do you know who this guy is?
To be very honest with you, I'm not into like the whole Gundam, Gunpla market because I can't get into the media. But back when I was a kid, I used to build a lot of models from Gundam Wing and I think Gundam C. I was watching those when I was growing up, and so I feel a connection to them. But like for this one, which is beyond my era, I had no clue who is this.
I mean, we know him as the Godfather. When you mentioned Gundam Wing, we are from the 80s.
Comes out during that.
So without this, literally Gundam is just history. So next question: if I am going to ask you to make a full suit of RX-78, would it be possible?
Yeah, it's completely possible. Proven already. He used to be a cosplayer, Clive, who does a few official cosplays for Bandai when they try and sell model kits at shopping malls, and he will make an appearance for people to take photos with him. I think he's made Unicorn, Banshee, and those sorts. So he's also catching on the hype. It's definitely proven to be able to make these sort of costumes. Problem usually comes down to just pricing. because we understand that we can do a lot of stuff, but storage at home is a problem. How much you want to spend on a certain costume, right? We encourage people to really think about where you're putting your money before we decide if you want to proceed or not.
How long do you think is the production for this suit?
Probably about 3 weeks. People tend to forget that we're here every day. Or we're here, it's a full-time job for us. We don't just do this and sort of like only on our free time. Makeup makes it easier because all your paper patterns will be straight lines. Way easier, compared to making a scanning helmet type. Yeah. So our like rounder shapes process is it's called unwrapping. It's like how do you open up a cube into a flat surface? So we're trying to do that all day. So the more flat surfaces there are, the easier it is for us to do this unwrap process. Yeah. Certain parts will be heavier, certain parts need rigging. So for this backpack you're gonna feel the slip. Going for an event, you're doing a photo shoot, there are lycra sleeves that you can print the joints on, make it a little bit more comfortable. Most materials that we use, we try and consider on the customer end. From experience, we know that if we wear gloves and you use Velcro, it's gonna wrap your gloves, right? So we try and use zippers. If let's say you're going through heat injury, how easy it is to strip you completely. So all these are considerations that we go through.
So everyone, we have come to the end of our special episode with Shannon from EdenTech Singapore. If you have any unfulfilled wish list, for example, if you need the Zaku's costume or maybe Sazabi shell, feel free to contact EdenTech Singapore. They will definitely get it done for you. The details for EdenTech Singapore is down below at the link. So we will be giving away a Gundam mask. To win this,
You have to
subscribe, like, and comment. So thank you, Eden. Thank you for your time. So we see you next week. Bye.
Questions, right? We start asking questions, and then they don't know how to answer because in their mind it's not a consideration. So we'll decide for them. As for revamping like a recolor or something, right? And it's very rare that we get